the E.A.F.P podcast.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe.
We love him so much. He's a special person for all of us. He's so nice. He's so nice.
You can watch it live every week on Facebook under the Jonko Navi and the Star 6 Media Facebook page. I think that would be better if I had my mic on. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the E.A.F.P podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the Jonko Navi and the Star 6 Media Facebook page. Thank you guys for watching and joining me. As always, like and share all of my shows, not just this one, my soccer one, but also all the other podcasts, Sports Strip Live, Big League Chicago, 3 Up, 3 Down, Slapshot. Damn, I promised I was going to remember it. Slapshot, Only Football, and many other podcasts too as well. Make sure you guys follow us on the Jonko Navi and the Star 6 Media page. Hit the little bell to get notified when our shows are live. And for you guys to join us too as well, the link is on the comment section on our Facebook page. So just make sure you guys join us from there on out, or put a comment, and we'll talk over today's games. All right, so this is where the fun really begins. If it hasn't already been solidified from last match day, match day 3 is basically where we get solidified on who's going to be in the next round, the round of 16s. Now it's starting to get down to the nitty gritty. And you know what? The games today, the 2 out of the 4 matchups obviously had a little bit more oomph, more interest in it, simply because of the positions that they put themselves in. The other 2, well, we already knew where the destiny was. We already know how the outcome was going to be. So it wasn't really that interesting. Let's go and start it off. Let's start off with Group A, and let's just get this one over with. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see majority of the game because the other game was a little bit more interesting. But Qatar versus Netherlands, though, 2-0 Netherlands. As I'm watching the highlights earlier today, it just looked like Netherlands just controlled throughout the whole entire game. They could have been more. It could have been more than just 2-0. It looked like they could have scored, 3, 4, 5 more goals than what they originally scored in the 2-0. Cody Gakpo, though, he scored his goal. This kid's going to be a star with Netherlands. Him scoring another goal in his World Cup, and then this is his second one of the tournament. Yeah, no wonder he's very highly touted, and all the big teams in Europe are looking out for him. The young kid plays out wide, but he can also give you a good goal or two. But nonetheless, Frankie de Jong scoring the second one in the first one in the second half. This game was pretty much out and down and dusted. Qatar was already eliminated. Netherlands, all they really had to do was just solidify their spot in first place. The moment it was already 1-0, it was already over with. Cody Gakpo just had a great run for his goal. I think he took a ball from the left side right all the way in, scored the second one, scored the first one, and then Frankie de Jong, just an easy setup play for him to score the easy tap in. So that was it. I mean, that's all I could give you. Qatar versus Netherlands. Now here we go. This is where the one was most interesting because both of these 2 teams had an opportunity to advance to the next round. Ecuador, all they needed was a tie to advance. Senegal had to win no matter what to advance to the second round. And man, it was a good one. The PK from Senegal, rightly so, easily taken. Goalie just stood up there, didn't dive. He thought he was going to go one way. He placed it on the other side, and Moises Caicedo off a corner kick. It was good. It was a good set piece play. Scored the 1-1. This is all they needed. This is all the Ecuador needed. You could tell after they scored the second one, they pumped the brakes a little bit. They were just going to defensive because this was a good enough result for them to go on to the next round. And man, set piece, corner, free kick, into the middle, cross back, and Koulibaly was all by himself. Easy tap in on the other side, just switch the direction of the goalkeeper, and that was game done and dusted. Ecuador did everything that they can. They had many opportunities, even in the stoppage time, to get their tie. It didn't happen. And you could just see both teams just let it off on the pitch, and that was great to see. Senegal had an opportunity to shut the door, but kept it going. The door was still wide open. Ecuador just can't. I think they had another opportunity like in the 86th minute. and just missed it barely too as well over the bar. It was a very very intense matchup, and you could tell both teams like this is what they needed. Both teams were looking for the result. Senegal needed the win. They got the win. Ecuador needed a point just to go to the next round. And it was just a great battle. On top of that, it was a good game to watch for sure. Between both teams. So now it ended up being Netherlands in first, getting the first place in the group, and Senegal in second. They advanced to the next round. But who were they? Who were they play against? That's the real good question. So let's start off in Group B. They're going to face these two teams. Are going to face the two teams in Group B. Obviously, Netherlands in second place for Group B. Senegal first place of Group B. And first, this game it was over before the game even started. I think I enjoyed the start. I mean, this starting lineup from England that they came out with was high rolling. I think it was they were even more lethal up top. In this game with Rashford and Foden playing out wide. I think they gave him a little bit more, a little bit more of a creativity up on top with Harry Kane. And you could just tell that this team was on a whole nother level. Even though they didn't get the goal at all in the first half, Marcus Rashford would a free kick. You can blame the goalie all you want. Yeah, he was started cheating, going to his right to save the free kick, but I mean, he placed that ball too easily into the top corner. So it's kind of like you can pick your poison. Who do you want to blame? You want to blame the goalkeeper, or you want to give credit to Marcus Rashford for the free kick? Wales tried to play out at the back. They lost the ball. Harry Kane, you don't do that. Crosses it in early cross, and it was funny. Jude Bellingham was already celebrating the goal before even Phil Foden even touched the ball and making the ball go in the back of the net. And yeah, that was 2-0 right there. And Marcus Rashford again on the right wing, cutting it back inside the box, taking a shot with his left, and then hits the goalie in between the legs. Game, set, match. This is the result that England needed. Again, it was over before he even started, and yeah, England got the first place. England got first place in this group. I think that was already going to be. I mean, I don't think they're. Trying to think here. Yeah, I mean, any other result, I think England would still have been in first, unless if they lost against Wales, which wasn't going to happen. England was a step ahead of Wales throughout this whole entire match. I'm surprised they didn't put another 2 or 3 goals on them too as well. That's how good and lethal England was, and I actually enjoyed this starting lineup for England. Bellingham, Rice, and Henderson. I think that's a good three middles, but the top three with Rashford and his pace, Foden and his creativity, and Kane trying to. Even though Kane hasn't really scored in this World Cup, like we thought he was going to be, he still provides everything else. Like the assist to Phil Foden was everything that Harry Kane can do. He can do a little bit of everything, and I do like this starting lineup for England, and there should probably be a starting lineup that should have probably be it shouldn't mess with. Raheem Sterling is a one-way player. I love Saka, but Phil Foden just gives you a little bit extra because he could be the creativity player that England kind of doesn't they don't need it, but they would love to have to as well because it'll just make everybody's work between Harry Kane and Marcus Rashford a lot more easy, and yeah, they just look like the dominant team overall in today's game. So 3-0 England over Wales. All right, let's get down to it. As you can see, I'm wearing the United States men's jacket. So that only means one thing. They played today. And it was a nail biter, to say the least. Now, I'm going to go on record by saying this. It shouldn't have been as close as it was in this game. And the United States men's national team, even though they got the job done, give them credit. They're advanced to the next round, second in this group. But this team, it just felt like the Wales game all over again, where they go on top, they still create chances, but they couldn't put them away, and they let Iran just linger on and keep and having them confidence and building up that confidence in trying to get back into this game. There were some shaky moments for the United States men's national team in the second half, to where you could tell that the game was starting to shift into Iran's way. and trying to get back into this game, and they almost succeeded multiple times, not just once, but multiple times, way more than you like. It was very uncomfortable, and a very uncomfortable. I think it was like 6 minutes that they gave them. Um, it wasn't. It shouldn't have been this close at all between this game. They got the job done. Matt Turner with another clean sheet. Defensively, they were again they were scrappy. Errors though were, this team has me a little bit worried, but it's how do you get there? And that's how they did. They got there. They play their asses off. Shaky moments at times. I think I'm not sure what minute it was, but the Iranian players ball between the goalkeeper's leg, between Matt Turner's legs, but it hit him just enough to it slow down right before it gets in the back of the net. Because that ball goes through, we're screaming, and we're talking about a whole different conversation and a whole different game. And I think the questions with him, the questions are still there. Don't get me wrong. The questions are still there. They are having problems in finding ways to put the ball in the back of the net. The 0-0 tie against England, um, not that much creativity, but just enough to create havoc for the England defense. The 1-1 tie against Wales in the first game, where you thought that the United States men's national team could put it away, but they were just missing that finishing touch to put this game out of reach, because that game shouldn't have been as close as it was either against Wales, and this one too as well. Great play, great run of play from the United States men's national team for Christian Pulisic just to come in, tap it in, and hurt himself in many different ways, shapes, and forms. But he got the ball in the back of the net, which is a very important in the 38th minute. But again, the same questions should still arise for this team, even though they advance to the next round. It's like who's that main guy that you're looking for to put the ball in the back of the net? We questioned Bill Hogter on why not Pitfolk wasn't there, and also Ricardo Pepi too as well. Two guys that scored in World Cup qualifiers, that scored in Nation Leagues play, that were there from the very beginning. Even one was on his rise. An opportunity to actually have a striker on top to make the jobs of a Christian Pulisic and a Timothy Weah and others in company in the midfield to actually look forward for a striker. Now, Brandon Erickson isn't that guy. Christian Pulisic can play that false nine, and then you decide to bring, if you do decide to bring Jordan Morris to inside on top. It's kind of like, or Josh Sargent doesn't look like the guy who's a threat to score, right? I don't think, to me, he's a threat to score. Haji Wright doesn't convince me as another good striker. It just, when you have goal scorers and you don't call them up, and I think that's an issue, and that's a problem right there. Again, it's a lot lighter of a conversation to have today, simply because of where and how they advanced the United States men's national team. But it's also a sign of concern too as well, because it shouldn't have been this difficult of a game throughout the whole entire tournament between 2 out of the 3 games. It was going to be a tough one against England, but the Wales and the Iran game, those 2 games should have been games where the United States men's national team should have put it in the bag way earlier, instead of having this chaos at the very end. But I mean, again, give credit where credit's due. I'll give them that. They advanced to the next round. The questions are a little bit less now, but it's still a rise. And now they advance in the round of 16 after not qualifying, should I say, in the last World Cup. You guys are listening to the E.A.F.P podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the John Conavi Facebook page, and also the Star 6 Media page. Guys, make sure you follow our pages, our social media platforms, just to get the good contact around the sports world, And make sure you guys follow us. That way you get notified when all our episodes, all our podcasts are live to you on the John Conavi and Star 6 Media page. Just hit the little bell to get notified when our shows are going to be live. Not just my show, but all our other shows under our media production group. And so, yeah, United States men's national team, they're in second place along with England. In first, they're the ones that are coming out of Group B. This tournament, I'm so far I am 4 for 4. I already know I got one wrong with Canada being eliminated last week because that was kind of like, okay, how should I say this? I'm only picking them because I don't believe the other teams in their group, but it is what it is. We can't get them all right, but I'm 4 for 4. I had Netherlands, Senegal, England, and the United States advancing to the next round. But let's get into it. These guys are, I want to say England and Senegal play Sunday, if I got this correct. They play Sunday, B1 versus A2, England versus Senegal. I think these two teams, they match up pretty well. Senegal can probably defend just a little bit better, cohesively and get on the contact with the speed that they got on top. England has a better team overall. It's going to be a little complicated because Senegal can get and will get a little bit physical and cause uncomfortability in the midfield for England and even on top with the forwards like a Marcus Rashford and Phil Foden. But give the creativity on edge side on England to where maybe they might need Harry Kane to step it up and score and bag a few goals in the back of the net and here to really help ease the tension for England in this game. I got England advancing to this one. Well, I'll break it down a little bit more, but I'm breaking it down right now. But I do feel like England has the edge over here, a better team overall, quality wise from front to back. A little bit more technically gifted, but with England, who knows if they could succumb to the pressure, and that's the one thing. It's different when it's around a 16 or one off instead of having a 3 game, the 3 games already set for you. Anything could happen. This World Cup has been very surprising with some upsets. It is possible, but England is a better team overall, and it just depends how much England can take the physicality play of Senegal, and if they even succumb to it, and they have to. I mean, they have to play a perfect game because Senegal can bounce on those opportunities, and hopefully it's a good one. But I kind of do see like a 3-1 England win. I think Senegal are too good not to have a goal in their name for this tournament. But I do enjoy their style of playing for Senegal. But I think England's going to be a little too much for them. So I got England advancing to the quarterfinals out of this one between them two. The next game that's going to be played on Saturday, it's going to be the United States men's national team, who are second in the Group B against the first place team in Group A in Netherlands. A couple of people from work saying that this game is pretty winnable for the United States men's national team. And I kind of looked at them with a confused look, like, I don't think so. It's not that comfortable. The United States are still struggling to score goals. They got one today, yes, but they're still struggling to score some goals and put them in the back of the net. And that, to me, is the reason why I don't give the United States men's national team an edge in this game as well. Netherlands are pretty well balanced. I think they have a good defense, especially the center backs. I think it could possibly be a top 5 pairing in this World Cup with Aki and also Virgil van Dijk. Going on top, Cody Gakpo is becoming that young star that comes out of this World Cup, where he puts his name on the map for one of the youngest players coming into this World Cup and for the future. I think Cody Gakpo is going to be that player for him too as well. He scored a magnificent goal today, getting the first one for the Netherlands. And I feel this one's going to be a tough one. And what worries me about this game, about the United States men's national team, is the fact of the matter is sometimes they can be a little bit too scrappy. Yes, they can get a result, but in a game where it's just a one-off, and yes, you have extra time in this game, I don't think this game suits them. I think the Netherlands will have a little bit too much going forward power into this game, to where it could cause some chaos for the United States men's national team. Again, who's going to score the goals? They only scored 2 goals in this whole entire tournament. I mean, hell, that's 2 more than Mexico, but that's another conversation for a whole nother day. But the United States men's national team, I feel like they struggle going for like putting these games away. Like even if they get a 1 goal advantage, this is not a game where the United States men's national team could win 1-0. I think Netherlands has a little bit too much for them to make this game just a 1-0 victory. They need to score multiple goals in this game for them to even have a chance to advance to the next round. I honestly do believe that Netherlands are just that much better than the United States men's national team. Give granted, the United States, after not qualifying for the last World Cup, they're in the round of 16. I think that's progress, especially from the last World Cup. That's definitely progress because they weren't in it. So after being away for 4 years, I think this is a good step forward for the United States, just advancing to the round of 16. And we focus on 2026 when it's here in the United States and where they should have that home field advantage because majority of the games are going to be played here in the United States. So, um, so majority of them, so they have that advantage, and plus, Gio Reyna is going to be 4 years older and a lot more better. Christian Pulisic is still going to be in his 20s. Uh, most of these players, Tim Weah in their mid 20s, like most of their young players are still going to be in their 20s, even from Tyler Adams hitting their peak of their prime. So it's going to, this World Cup is just a very good warm up test to what the United States men's national team are going to have to prepare themselves for 2026. Can they scrap out a win? I don't believe so. I do not believe it in the United States men's national team to where they can come out of this game victorious. They if they would have gave me somewhat of a better performance, and I got Jonathan Plyer. What's up, Johnny? You can see him on all the other the Big League Chicago and also the JCA Sports podcast too here on our Star Six Media and the John Conavi Facebook pages too as well on our podcast. He says Netherlands going to win 2-1. I agree with you. I think I can even see a 3-1 victory. I wouldn't be surprised it would be a 2-0 victory too as well. I just don't think that the United States men's national team have enough to not only break down that Netherlands defense, but even to find a way to score a goal. They got one today. They got one today. Yes, they struggled a way to get a goal today, but they got one, and that was more than enough. This game is not going to need more than enough. I honestly believe. Excuse me, with Memphis look good today coming in. Exactly, they almost blew it today, and that's why I don't have that much confidence going into this game. I won't be surprised if it's even like I feel like we're giving the United States a little bit credit here simply because hell we watch them, we enjoy the game and you know they're part of it. Hell, I'm wearing their brand right now with their jacket, but I feel like we give them a little bit more credit because we see them throughout the major tournaments here with the CONCACAF, right? But in all reality, I will not be surprised if it's a 3-0 game on Netherlands against the United States. Give them a little credit. They might find a goal here, maybe 3-1, but that's it. Netherlands are just that much better of a team. But you still count this as a successful tournament for the United States. A lot of people may not think that, may not see that simply because, well, hell, they only got 2 goals in the group stage. They got 2 goals scored against them in the knockout stage, and they either scored 1 or they didn't score 1. And the question is going to become, can Berhalter be the man for the job? I think he's going to be gone after this World Cup no matter what, even if the only way he keeps this job, is somehow, some way, they find a way to make it into a quarter, maybe a semifinal, right? But I highly doubt it. Even the next game after that is going to be tough. John says maybe it's just me, but the United States look better on the qualifying matches. Yes and no. Yes and no. They did in the very beginning, when the qualifying round first started, but after the wraparound where everybody goes home and home, you kind of saw that struggle that the United States men's national team got them into. And I'll put it in this way. They got a result with El Salvador, I think, winning 2-0, struggling on the road. And then they come back, and I want to say it was either Canada or Jamaica afterwards, where they struggled to even get a goal in the back of the net, and they still ended up coming out winning. They played a good game in the Estadio Azteca. They got a 2-1 or a 2-0 victory against Mexico. I think it was 2-0 against Mexico here in the United States, but they go down to Costa Rica and have a blunder of a game, and I think they either lost or came out with a tie. That Yeah, what I'm trying to say is like for the last year, year and a half or so, even the qualifying rounds, the United States men's national team struggled to get into this group. They shouldn't come in second. They should have been in first. Mexico should have been in second. Canada in third. But Canada, there was a reason why Canada was the number one team and was first in the Concacaf for a reason, because the United States men's national team in certain moments in this tournament, hell, I think they even tied against Honduras 0-0, if I'm not mistaken, in Honduras. I know they tied against Mexico too in Estadio Azteca, but the United States men's national team struggled the last couple games in qualifying matchups heading into this World Cup. There's a reason why they were in second place. There was a reason why Mexico was in third place too as well. I mean, but they were been struggling even before that. But give or take, yes, they got out of the group. They advanced to the World Cup, but you didn't go into this tournament as confident for the United States men's national team. And even then, so when they didn't even call a pure striker like a Pitfolk and like a Pepe into the starting lineup, do you question Berhalter and his decision to bring this team in? You brought in Josh Sargent, who's having somewhat of an okay season out in Europe, and Jordan Morris, who great story on the kid. He was the leading scorer in Stanford in college, had the most goals in college history. Was drafted by Seattle, had a pretty good couple of years, solid years in Seattle. Then tore his ACL not once but twice. Came back, got himself into shape. Was having a good season with Seattle Sounders, and that's why he's there. But he's on the bench, and he's not that type of player that will make a difference in your starting lineup. As you have prolific goal scorers that you didn't call up for the United States men's national team. So the difference here is again the team selection. And you got how did the United States men's national team get a goal today? It was scrappy. It was a cross in the box, and Christian Pulisic just found a way to be in the right spot, and he almost lost a leg, an ankle, and a nut, getting that goal. And it was that was it. It was just a scrappy goal. It was a very scrappy goal. Same thing, the same game against Wales too as well. They got the job done, but again, like you just said in this comment, they almost blew it today. And yes, they almost, because they couldn't find the back of the net once again to give this team some type of comfortability throughout the whole entire game. And they let Iran back in. They gave them confidence and momentum to find a way to even believe that they could come out with a result here. And they almost got away. Like I said, Matt Turner got lucky with the ball hitting him just enough to slow that ball down when the ball went between his legs. And I mean, that wasn't really a penalty, but there were certain moments in this game where the United States men's national team, it's kind of like, like, how much do you believe in this squad coming to the Netherlands? Because the confidence level for me, as a fan of the game, right, and as a guy that all I need is my two eyes to see what do I see from the United States men's national team. I'm not that confident in them to even be in this game. They could fight as much as they can. They could linger as much as they want into this whole entire game. The objective of the game is putting the ball in the back of the net, and the United States have been struggling to do that. So, while the Netherlands, on the other hand, I mean, they're doing it with ease, and I think this game is going to prove to you what the United States men's national team has to do for the next World Cup that's here to make them more competitive, and hopefully by then, they actually call a decent squad in there. He's like, there's a reason. There was a reason why they aren't cheering. I believe that we will win this World Cup. Uh, I mean, it's cute, right? But I think now they've done, or they transitioned to the whole Viking clap, the USA. I think that's the new one now that they do in every single game here. But yeah, you know what? It was cheesy. Don't get me wrong. That saying, I believe that we will win. It's a bit cheesy, but it worked. It fit at that time. But again, it is it is what it is. And you're right. This team, there's no belief in whatsoever how they got to this. How they got to this point. I mean, they fought hard. They got the results. I mean, 2 points. Points are points. But they got the crucial win that they needed in order for them to advance. But Yeah, as you can see, I got the round of 16. There's the round of 16 slowly but surely is starting to fill up. France is waiting for an opponent. It could either be Mexico, it could either be Saudi Arabia, it could either be Argentina. At this point, who's oh damn who it could be Poland. You know, France is the other team that's already qualified. They're just waiting for the opponent in round of 16 too as well. So we'll be here. John says cheesy but fun to chant at Soldier Field with a beer. Yeah, I mean, you're right, but yeah, I never really, yeah, I never really liked that chant as much as everybody else did. But I mean, that's just me. You might call me a hater or whatever the case may be, but I don't know. It just he said, Let's just hope Argentina wins 2-0 against Poland. I mean, you could say hope, but Mexico has to do their job too as well against Saudi Arabia, and I don't see. I, I don't have that confidence in me, man. For the Selección Mexicana, I feel like I'm gonna have another disappointing podcast tomorrow. At the same time, remember, same time, place tomorrow, guys. 6:30 tomorrow. For the for the Group B and Group C, Group D matchups. France is waiting for the opponent. Who's going to join France in Group D, and what two teams from Group C are going to are going to come out of the group? Mexico saving all their goals. Man, look, I would be. Don't tell me this, because this will literally piss me off if somehow, some way, Mexico puts like a 3 or 4 bagger in, and I will be more furious and excited and happy that Mexico advanced to the next round if they put in like that many amount of goals in the back of the net tomorrow. Like, I would be so pissed because it was like, why couldn't they do this in the first place and not to be in this position? You know, like no, no, no. Honestly, if you really want my true, honest opinion about the Selección Mexicana, I wish they lose tomorrow. I hope they lose tomorrow. I hope they don't qualify to around the 16. I really do. Yeah, if Mexico wins 3-0, yes, Mexico has to win by two or more by goal difference. So if Mexico wins 2-1, 2-0, and Argentina wins 2-0, then it's the goal differential that Mexico has over Poland that would make them advance into the next round. Um, but yeah, it's by goal difference because it'll be 4 points for Poland and for Mexico, but it'll be goal difference at that time. So yeah, yeah, we hope for like a 4 or 5 bagger. But man, look, again, I'm gonna say this again so everybody can hear me and hear exactly what I just said. I really do hope that the Selección Mexicana does not advance to the round of 16. And it goes beyond just what happened. It goes beyond from Tata Martino. So Tata Martino that Tata Martino had a called up a bad squad. It's beyond that. It goes above the people who run the Federación. Yes, sister. I got my sister right here. What up, sister? Yeah, a huevo. Mexico has to score. Mexico has to score more than 2 goals. Um, they need to find the ball in the back of the net. They need to score more than 2 goals. More than 2 goals would be great, right? Again, piss me off, but it would be great. But Argentina has to put their input in it because with the tie or a win, Argentina automatically advances number 1 in the group. No, number 2 in the group because they lost the first game. But if they want to avoid France, then yes, Argentina needs to win to be first in the group. That puts Poland in the second, and then everything else will be like a mathematical, technical type of thing. So he said Chucky with the hat trick, and my sister says, "Hey, all right, va a ganar Mexico 3-0." I swear, I would be so pissed if that does happen because I will flip tables. I will not be happy tomorrow. I'll be like, what the fish? Why couldn't you do this in the first place? Why couldn't you get a goal or two against Poland? Why couldn't you find a way to keep the pressure on Argentina and stuff like that? Whatever the case may be. No. But again, I just do not want Mexico to advance because this is so much. Even if, John, they lose and they fire Tata, even if they win and they make the round of 16, Tata Martino is not going to be here at the end of the year. He's not. I don't care what. Even if they make it to the quinto partido, even if they make it somehow, some way, miraculously beat France in the round of 16, make it to the quarterfinals, he still wouldn't be back in. To be honest, as much as we all cry and want to have the quinto partido, and they made a song for it too, right? For that one, if you guys haven't seen it, I think it's on my Facebook page or my Instagram too about the song the No Se Va, but for the Selección Mexicana. Um, he won't be here. But again, it's a lot more, and I will go into it why it's a lot more tomorrow, no matter what the result is, because I won't be happy, Eric, if they win. I won't be happy, Eric. Definitely if they lose and not make it to the round of 16. I just won't be happy overall, but I'll put into more detail on why I if on why even they advance, on why the selection, it's more deeper than that. My sister said, all right, va a ganar 3-0. John says, I seen the Chicharito and Tim Howard commercial, and off that commercial alone, Chicha has more goals than the whole. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, but you're right, though. We got no choice but to be hopeful. With the Selección Mexicana, sister, there is no hope. It's just puras fallas. Honestly, firing from Christmas. No, not Christmas. If they get eliminated tomorrow, literally he could fly in a charter flight back home. He doesn't come with the Selección Mexicana. He finds his own flight there, right? Even if they make it to Sunday, right, against France, because I think the game will be on Sunday, between France and Group C. I gotta look at my calendar, and I'll have all the information right by the end of the week. Um, Even if they make it, it'll be Sunday. Even after Sunday, he still finds a charter flight back home to Mexico, or he goes back home to Argentina. Don't care what the case may be, but Tata doesn't come back with the Selección Mexicana at all. With that being said, all of that being said, tomorrow if you want to see this rant, good or bad, no matter what the result may be. Again, me personally, for personal and other reasons beyond, is the reason why I kind of don't want Mexico to be in the round of 16. For weekend purposes, hell, I will choose watching um, Mexico versus France on a Sunday instead of Bears versus Packers. To be honest with you, hell, I wouldn't even care. The Mexico game would be on the main TV, and the Bears Packers game would be on the other TV with no volume. I'm just letting you know that right now from the start, right? Or it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter what game it is. It could even be France Argentina. It could be France Poland, France Saudi Arabia. I'll still have that game on the bigger TV than the Bears Packers. To be honest with you, on Sunday. But I digress from that conversation. It just, again, tomorrow we'll break down a Group C, Group D, see who advances, comes out of and plays Saturday and Sunday for each team. France is waiting for an opponent. They're the number one team coming out of Group D. Argentina, Poland, Mexico, and even Saudi Arabia all have a chance to make it into the round of 16 out of that group. Argentina has a chance to go in as first place with a victory. Poland needs a tie to be first in that group, and Argentina second. Mexico has a win by a landslide and has to score that many amount of goals. Saudi Arabia just needs help. They need to win. The goal differential has to be more than 4 or 5 goals. Poland has to lose, and that's the only or Poland has to win, and then just substitute the goal differential from there, simply because they already had that advantage over Argentina. My sister said, honestly, si se ponen las pilas knowing that this is for the determination for the next round, the cambios, el Tata got to get it together. I love that you're hopeful, right? And you're optimistic about it. And you're right. But I personally have seen, and I had a conversation like this with our dad, that this team doesn't have whatever it takes to win. And I said it last week, when your best player, the one that actually does all the dirty work for you, and Edson Alvarez is on the bench, and you have Andres Guardado and Hector Herrera who can't defend or fight for the ball, um, to win it. I don't know what the case may be. Whatever the case is, it better not be that 3-5-2 lineup that we saw on Friday against Argentina. rather see Henry Martin up there. I'd rather see, to be honest with you, if you want me to be completely and fully honest with you, I'd rather have Alexis Vega and either Ariel Antuna out wide with Henry Martin to give us something a little bit different, give us a little flair on top with those three on top. I don't mind seeing Chucky, but at the same time, we have to see it. We have to see something different if we want something different to happen. Right? Because don't get me wrong, Chucky is a great player, but he's very one-dimensional. He doesn't have the foot speed to take you on one-on-one. He would rather just kicks the ball up wide and tries to beat you with his speed. And when this player is faster than him, then you see him switch to the other side and try the same thing over and over again. That only works every so often. Yes, he has one quick step that if you lose the ball and you're trailing sideways or something like that, Chucky already has an advantage of you because of his speed. But that's all that Chucky does. His crosses ain't all that great. His shot's pretty above is average at most, maybe even worse than that. But honestly, I'd rather have the opportunity for these young cats like Uriel Antuna, like Alexis Vegas, who's been having the nod and have been having an okay tournament. Give Henry Martin the other opportunity to go on top. You bring back Exxon in the middle. I'm sorry, but the Hector Herrera experience, it should be over. It should literally be Charlie. It should be Charlie. It should be Chavez, and it should be Edson Alvarez in the middle. Those are your three middles that you're going to boss, and you probably more than likely are going to have in the next World Cup. Give him this opportunity to do so. The back four is keep it the same, right? I don't mind Cesar. I don't mind Hector Moreno. I think he's been proving that he still has some type of legs left to compete for this World Cup and this World Cup only. And then obviously you have got it in the back of the net, so it's all good. That should be the lineup that goes on. That should be going to this World Cup. I guess we'll know, and my sister, I guess we'll know how it'll go for Mexico based on the lineup. Yeah, exactly. We will find out at 12 o'clock. And at 12 o'clock, I will either be very upset or maybe my optimism and my hope might come back depending on how he sets up the lineup. But we will see tomorrow. And tomorrow on this podcast, we will see how I'm going to be. No matter what, I think Angry Eric is still going to be here tomorrow, no matter how the result's going to be, no matter if they advance or do not. I think Angry Eric will be on here tomorrow because I'm just tired of the crap. I'm just tired of what I see. I'm tired of what my own two eyes have been seeing for the last 18 months, and there's no change. And then I'll give you guys on reason why I am like this tomorrow at 6:30. As always, guys, make sure you like and share all my episodes on the E.A.F.P podcast. Not just my episodes, but the JCA Sports podcast, Big League Chicago, Only Football, 3 Up, 3 Down, Slap Shot, and many more other podcasts coming along under the Star 6 Media brand. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you can follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, and did I say everything else? Instagram? Yeah, I think that's all we have. We have a lot of social media, but we're on every single social media platform that you could think of. Make sure you guys follow us on there, Star 6 Media or the John Conavi social media platforms. Again, like and share all of us. And to get notified, hit the little bell next to the Star 6 Media page or also the John Conavi page to get notified when all our podcasts are out live, because we do all our shows live from Sports Strip Live on down. So I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place at 6:30. Angry Eric will be on. We will see who comes out of Group D in second place and who comes out of Group C from first and second place. Thank you guys for coming on. For my sister, I love you. For John, I guess I love you too, bro. And everybody else watching and listening, thank you very much for joining me on today's podcast. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. See you guys then.
Staggeringly brilliant! And Sevilla fall apart like King Louis' temple! It's astonishing! Look at the way he picks his spot! They could make Ebenezer Scrooge smile with the quality of his goal!
See you later.
Yes. Yes.
He's intolerable.